All right, guys, welcome back to TMT. Too much thought. Episode 16. Who even cares at this moment, really?
Dude, we're like a million into this.
Seems
who
like
can
a lot.
keep track?
It basically might be.
Who can keep track?
I know. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I have. It's in Saudi Arabia. What they're doing is
Yeah,
they're building
I've seen this.
a futuristic city that is 13 squared kilometers or miles long.
Yeah, that's right. 13
Right?
miles.
It's
13 miles.
It's literally a structure that just straight up mirrors on the side, goes across the fucking desert like some fucking idiots.
It's it's a wall.
Yeah, and
It's like
supposed to-
Attack on Titan, basically.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
It seems like it. Yeah.
And especially with the desert too, adds a perfect fucking setting. But it's supposed to house 9 million people. And what was it, like $100 billion? $200 billion?
No, I think they were... I can try to look it up, but off the top of my head, I think they were saying $1 trillion.
Wow.
I think off the bat, they were saying 500 million
What?
500 billion to build the city. But now after they've realistically seen all the plans they're trying to set into motion and how this is going to function out, they've gone up to $1 trillion.
$1 trillion for 9 million
How much is a
people.
trillion? Like 1,000 billion?
Yeah.
I don't know the difference between a billion and $1 trillion, but I know the difference between a million seconds and a billion seconds is what? So a million seconds is a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then
A billion seconds
a billion
like
seconds
years.
is like 13 days or something.
Oh, really?
God damn.
Yeah. It's
Just adding that one extra zero.
Holy,
so.
when you say it like that, that makes it seem like a crazy amount.
you're more likely to be a millionaire is so much easier to obtain than a billionaire.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, even if you are a millionaire.
Like, it's easier to become a millionaire from nothing
Yeah.
than a billionaire from a millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're trying to build this city in the desert, right? You guys can look it up if you want to. It's got mirrors on the side.
Yep.
It's literally a straight shot, right?
It's just
What are they
straight-
trying to call it?
the line.
The line.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's final post construction
I
name.
mean, I like it.
It's a
I
pretty
kinda
cool
like it.
name.
I think
It's
it's kind of
clean,
cool.
Bro, I live
Yeah.
on the line. I live on the line. That'd be a cool thing
They're
to
like,
say.
what?
It's in Saudi Arabia because that's all oil money.
Well,
I
they're
mean-
trying to with this city. They're trying to shift away from the oil money. They're trying to be they're trying to make it a trade style city. It's all natural energy. So they're either doing like solar or they're doing
Yeah, they're doing solar.
they're just it's clean energy. The entire city, 9 million people. Clean energy is what they're aiming for.
Well, what worries me about it is who's these 9 fucking million people coming from?
That's what. Yeah.
You have to like
'Cause-
sign up for that?
Because
or-
Saudi Arabia is not some. Excuse me, USA.
Excuse me.
I mean, there's no factories, so all these people are going to be.
It's not an industrial city. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So they're going to be put in this basically rectangle, very long rectangle, and they're supposed to live. For me, I think it's just going to be business people. It's going to be people that have that work for businesses that just sit in the office, sitting in cubicles. Because I mean, you really can't have any factories or whatnot going with it. I mean,
the way I think about it though, it could go either two ways. It go the way you say, like it's gonna be all very high class rich people,
Yeah.
or it could be kind of like some kind of self sustaining thing where jobs are assigned and
Mm-hmm.
like this, what role you have is like what role you're gonna have till to the end of time or
Yeah.
your time, but at the same time you're living in a utopia. So,
So,
it's
like-
like it's an equal exchange almost.
yeah, so
You know what
like
I mean?
one person's going to be the bakery, one person's going to work on the solar panels, one person's going to cut the grass, one person's going to
Yeah.
do the I don't know, Quiznos.
And and
Yeah.
your lifestyle might depend. Like, oh, if you have a harder job, you might have a better lifestyle per se. But everybody's in a utopia sense where nobody longs for anything. I mean, if it gets to that
So it's-
point,
Do you
I-
think that
I think
it
it's
gets there?
I don't know.
It'd be tough.
I
But
think
I think
it's-
that's their goal.
I think that's socialism.
I think they're going for some kind of utopia.
Close
You don't
to
think like a 9 million people in a blocked off area?
I think it's more dystopia, really.
that's what their goal is, though.
Not their
Well-
goal. Nobody has a. I mean, think about it. You're in a rectangle. You have walls on every side. you're basically stacked on top of people.
And aren't the walls like mirrors?
On the sides, yeah.
Not the inside, but yeah,
Okay.
the
Outside.
outside. So if you're just looking at the entire city from the outside,
Just look at the desert back at you.
you're supposed to not be able to really see it because it's just a reflection. So the outside's all mirrors. And then like the question rises there. If they're in the desert and it's all mirrors, how hot is the outside of it going to be? But
Well, they probably have cool. I mean,
It's not a coolant system.
cooling system.
what's the purpose to making it mirrors though? Because
It honestly,
Aesthetics.
yeah, it's
Well,
probably
yeah,
just something.
aesthetics,
City,
but
like that's cool.
It's
the
probably
basis the
to get-
city's standing on is that they don't want to leave a carbon footprint. Like, so it's going to be a city that's all natural energy.
Yeah,
If they're cutting a line through nature, and if they're also heating up the area around them with those mirrors, are they really achieving that off the bat?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can take the mirrors and you can put the solar, because they have to have solar panels to power the whole thing. Because they
Yeah.
say it was like 95% eco-friendly. I don't know
They're
how
not
all
going to
that
have.
statistics
They're not going to have
work.
like power grids.
Yeah. So
Stuff inside the city.
obviously the sun changes and whatnot, but they have had to have so many solar panels out there. What I think is going to happen, they made it look pretty when they're showing it for the investors, for people that want to support this idea.
They're
But
glamorizing
it's
it up.
literally going to be lined with solar panels outside to catch off the mirror, because that's going to make it better, stronger.
Well, let me ask you this. I just thought about this. How much energy could you produce? It might not look as pretty when you have like a mirror fucking city with two walls that are completely made of mirrors, and then lined with that is all solar panels. But imagine you. Am I wrong here to say you'd get double the energy from a reflection and the actual sun itself?
Well, I suppose to magnify it, so it probably would.
So
Like,
you'd
it's
have
uneducated.
so much. If I mean, I might be stupid. Y'all tell me.
We might be
Comment,
looking
please.
stupid on this.
I don't
But
know.
Would you
ever
not
see
have
when they
so
take a
much
magnifying
energy?
glass and they like hold it in the sun?
Yeah, it
like,
makes it
starts fire?
stronger.
Would you
Yeah.
not have a ton of energy being built up off mirrors?
I mean, these guys are fucking engineers. That's probably why they thought about that.
yeah.
What if they put solar panels behind it? Behind the
Behind-
mirrors?
How would that work? How
Well,
would you
I
receive
yeah, I
it?
don't know if that'd work because the entire thing about a mirror is it reflects anything that hits it, so nothing's gonna get past it.
What if
right?
it reflects inside, though?
I mean, if you had some kind of
If they had something
Some
that captured the
transparency.
sunlight and
Yeah.
like bounced
to make
it
it
and
directly
magnified
to
it,
it.
oh,
Now imagine like you had these solar panels pressed up against the mirror, like pressed up, and so that heat would come, or that UV
Well,
rays
is
would
it-
come
yeah,
and it
that's what I
gets
was gonna
soaked
say.
up. It gets soaked up immediately. You don't know.
like from one day, you would have months of energy.
Yeah.
Essentially,
you could. Maybe that's what their entire
Maybe that's
economy
why
comes
they
from.
actually put it in the desert to help
that is
with.
smart.
They start selling
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
If that's their main economy.
Come on, that's where we're headed. Like we're
Because
getting off of that.
It's a city that's aligned, so they're not going to have fields.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have factories.
Yeah.
They're not going to have any of these huge infrastructures because it's only so far along. So they can't fit it in from one side of the wall to the next.
Yeah.
They can make it as, I guess, long as they want, but as
Mm-hmm.
wide, it's only going to hit such a.
They would have to have
standard.
some kind of transportation service, like you said. Like I think
Yeah.
earlier
Well,
you said it would be
there's
like
no
a trade
cars.
city.
What they're
No
saying
street.
already is that
You
their
walk.
transportation. So they're gonna have like transport. It's gonna be levels to it, almost in like a Star Wars or a Cyberpunk style,
Like
and that-
platform. off
yeah, so it's
Netflix.
platformed.
Very scientific.
So the bottom level is going to be transportation,
Mm-hmm.
and then the top level, like it's going to be all greenery, and probably like the higher life of people living there will be like paying to live on
Yeah.
the top. Because if you're on the bottom, how much sunlight are you going to get?
But what gets me about
There's
that-
walls all
But the whole thing
Oh.
is, how can you fucking? It doesn't even matter like what level
Okay.
you're on. It's like, how are they getting food? Like if you're gonna
It's going to have to all be trade
I mean, yeah. I
because
mean,
they're not producing
But
it.
how are you gonna get it in the desert? Like, is there gonna be some kind of airport, some kind of?
Oh,
They're trying to make it a trade center from the video I watched.
I think they're trying to make it where it doesn't need outside help.
Trying to make it self-sustaining.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean,
It'd be 9 million vegans in a sense then.
what I think. Well,
Because they're not going to have a field to grow.
yeah, everybody. But who are they trading with? Are they trading with the Saudi government for it? Because the government's funding this. Really, if you look at people that own the oil industry there, they control the government there.
That's the government that's funding it, but
It's more of a. I think it's more or less a test. See how this works.
See how it works.
Yeah.
From what I've seen about it, is they're going to be policed by a whole new police system that's going to be structured for that city. So I don't know if they're going to carry the Saudi Arabian government or if they're going to try to make it a more nationwide
Oh, they are.
and more nationwide
be a
city
lot
where it's
of-
like governed by NATO and
If
stuff.
it gets to that point, it's gonna be a lot of people from other countries with a lot of money wanting
Oh
to go
yeah,
there.
dude. There aren't going to be 9 million Saudi Arabians that
No.
are just like, hey, let's
Hell no.
hop over there. Let's leave where we're at. It's going to
think-
be a lot of other people from different areas.
Well, I mean, I think they're not. The first people are not supposed to be moved into like what 2030.
Probably.
So they might have all these kinks worked out. But what happens when it fucking rains?
They have to have some kind of aqueduct system.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There'd probably be some kind of water system.
Everywhere.
It had to be.
I mean,
it would have to be.
It's only so wide.
So-
and it's probably going to be
Wait, how
built
wide
in.
is it? I know it's 13 miles long, but how wide?
13
is it?
squared.
Um,
So if you take Einstein,
I'll look it up, but so they're trying to figure out how to keep it cool too. So like how you were saying
Yeah.
when it rains, what are they going to
Maybe
do?
recycle that water. But
In the summertime,
the thing I thought about is it's in a desert for a fucking reason. So water don't happen that much. It don't rain that much.
Yeah.
So that could
You
work.
gotta have some kind of cooling system then.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, other cities don't. I mean, if you're outside, you're outside.
But they're not in a fucking rectangle with 9
Yeah.
million people on a
That's true.
line.
Oh.
Think about it in the future. Imagine if all of our fucking cities
It
are
says it's
just
supposed to be
line after
200
line after line after
200
line
meters
after line.
wide.
It's what?
It says it's supposed to be 200 meters wide and then 170 kilometers long.
I don't know. This King Henry died talking milk.
Yeah, I
type
mean, I
shit.
don't know meters, but
I need what's it called? I need the real way, the way we do it. I need miles, feet.
Well, that's only
Okay,
600
so-
feet, is it not? That's 600 feet.
Yeah, it's not very wide.
200 meters.
It's not very wide.
That's very small.
Yeah.
So 200 meters would be 656 feet. So the entire city is going to be 656 feet long, which, how long is a football
Wide.
field? Or yeah,
100.
wide.
Well, it's 100 yards. So
100
it's 300
yards,
feet.
which
A yard is
So 300
feet.
feet.
So
A meter
about
is 3 feet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
about-
2 football fields wide,
Yeah.
and then it's going to go 170 kilometers long.
Yeah.
And then if you square it, that's 13 miles.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure out how to control the temperature because the desert in the summer is going to hit 130 degrees.
Well, yeah, and
So-
imagine they're just sitting there baking.
Yeah, and they can't do that. So they're going to either have to make an entire city that's climate controlled or figure out some kind of airway system where. So the only airway in will be from above. And if it's a really tall city, then the air that's above is going to be cooler anyways.
Well, if you think about
Right.
it too, they're in a desert, right? Sunlight all the fucking time. So
Yeah.
to power these air conditioners, you got the power to be able to do that. You
but
know?
do they want to
true.
spend their entire budget of power on climate control?
They really don't seem like they have a budget on this.
It's
Honestly,
whatever it costs type
yeah,
deal.
they really don't. I think this is a
A
trial.
flex. It's kind of a flex.
It's a
dude.
flex, yeah, for
I don't,
sure.
I don't know though, because how many governments do you know are going to spend $1 trillion on a trial run of something?
People that are
Of testing
desperate.
something.
A
Okay, but they have
it's a
Saudi Arabia has Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's desperate about that?
Yeah, okay, okay, you-
Dubai's on top of the world.
Okay, Dubai is one city.
Yeah.
This is how a lot of European, Middle Eastern, Asian countries work. Is they have this big, great technology wise. They're advanced. They're like Beijing, China, like Tokyo, Japan. If you go on the outskirts of that, they have nothing, right? So if you go to China, outside the big cities, what is that? There's no middle class. That's the thing. They
It's
have
either
no middle class. So
upper class or bottom class.
yeah, so Saudi Arabia, they have these big upper class cities, right? Outside of that, they have no middle class. It's either this or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is what I think they're trying to do is say, okay, hey, because globalization's work this way is, you know, we want to make our country more hospitable,
Inviting. Yeah.
to people to come in
some
Say-
kind of incentive to come over to our land.
And
Like,
if more of the rich want to come in, that's perfectly fine with them.
But
You know?
I do see that how like you said, like, you know, you got these huge rich country or rich cities in these countries like
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia or whatever in the Middle East. If you had a place where you could stick 9 million common folk and they're living a decent life and they're talking great about it, like you're drawing.
But
in
what's
a
but
the-
without
shit ton.
high tech,
What's the line though about what's 9 million people? You don't think 9 million people, maybe 10,000 of them aren't good people?
Oh, definitely.
How's
There's
that
be
going to
some
work?
bad eggs.
Maybe 100,000 people.
there has to be some kind of crime system in there, right?
There'll be a police force.
Oh
some
no!
sort.
I think it's so technologically advanced. It's that everything's gonna be on surveillance.
Yeah.
Your whole daily life is gonna be. That's why I say it's a trial run for this government to see how it's regulated, to see how they can control you.
Like, all right, this is what we need to change. This is what we need to get right.
Well, yeah,
Yada,
and
yada.
I think it's more. It's actually benefits people more in power to become more powerful because they see if you only have to walk 5 minutes every day for everything you need in life, they know your daily routine.
Yeah.
They know everything about you, everything you do on that 5 minute walk every
You're
single
locked
day.
up, basically. They
Yeah.
want you to
Okay,
know
so
you're
wait, to
at.
put into
So say,
what's the word to put into context?
Okay.
They say that this line can house 9 million people and it's 13 squared miles. New York City, the population there is 8.3 million.
Holy fuck.
So they're saying that they're going to fit more people in this city than New York
That's
City's
crazy.
population.
Yeah.
I thought New York was more than that.
And this is in the middle
Yeah.
of the desert.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's a rectangle. It's a long,
It's a very
ass
long, skinny rectangle.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 football fields wide.
Yeah.
Oh, don't start that again, Dawson.
I always drop my shit.
That's the
Fuck
thing.
you.
Like
Don't
you
start dropping.
You say say like like I watched this video.
Dude,
Your daily life, they want it to be is where you don't have to. You walk 5 minutes throughout the day, or take a fucking bus, whatever. How it works, transportation system works. 5 minutes, right? That means everything. If you don't believe they're doing solar panels, they're doing everything. This is so high tech. You're not on camera every second of the day to where they know your daily routine. Imagine if your daily routine was this here, this here, this here, this here. Imagine you walked 20 minutes down the road, down the line, right? Oh, they picked it up. What is he doing? Right?
they
What's going
flag you.
on?
They bring you into the
Yeah.
local police
Yeah.
station.
You go off
Yeah,
track.
because they see they obviously gonna have face scanners because get in there to probably get in the line you have to do some sort of
You think there's going to be a screening to move into the city?
Yeah, oh, for sure. You don't want a bunch of ISIS members in
But
it.
if it's a city that cost them $1 trillion to make, then living there is going to be expensive. To dig them out of the debt that
I don't think when they first move in, people will have to pay anything. I think it's more or less, let's move because they're already going to spend that money to build it.
You think it's a freebie to move in on
Not
the
a
first
freebie, but
stationary?
self-sustaining. You're gonna work.
No, there's a
You're gonna have
vetting system.
station.
There's a vetting system. So say, I mean, they proclaim it as a utopia, right? So they only want people that they're sure of, right? That they can trust that he's going to do this, he's going to do this. That's the only thing he's going to do. They're not going to take a leap of faith on somebody that's, might be a little risky, right? They put this much money
Scary.
into it. They're not going to put a bunch of risky people into it. It's a vetting system.
Yeah.
And so there's only going to be, that's why I think it's going to be mostly cubicles and business people with your nice baker.
It's going to all
your
be
nice-
office jobs,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There's not going to be room for anything
Well, yeah.
else.
Where's all the waste go to? If there's no way to work.
It's going to be a city
as far as that way.
Either customer service, so like you're running a restaurant.
I think it's going to be a
clothing
new
store.
Dubai. Is what I think
Yeah,
it's
so
going to be.
you're going to be, it's an attraction based place.
Mhm.
So, okay, I serve bomb steaks, or,
Mhm.
this is a Louis Vuitton store.
Yeah.
You're going to work at that. It's going to be one of those things, or you're working in an office.
Yeah.
And you're like trading, or you're working on software, stuff like
You're
that.
working
There
for the
isn't
oil
going to be.
industry.
There isn't going to be the person that goes, I got to go out to the field today.
Yeah, or I got to go to this production
Yeah,
plant.
and it's going to be a very narrow city, so it's easy to escape that way of life, but inside of that city, you give it enough time, those people aren't going to be laborers, I guess.
My
No,
question
they
is,
can't be.
You're in this rectangle, this stretch of land, or whatever.
They're going to build
And
their
there's
own
nothing.
culture.
There's nothing but desert
Yeah.
around. What happens if you say, "Fuck it, I just need to get out of here. I need to go."
Yeah, that's another question we ask is, so if you're a resident in that city, how easy is it going to be for you to move out?
I don't know. It's probably going to take some time before.
Yeah, because where
I
are
mean-
the exits in this
I mean,
wall?
we got 8 more years for the first resident. I think that'll come with it. Well, what is a possibility is also too, is we talked about the mirrors,
I
right?
just had a great idea. I just had a big question. Keep going.
So in the mirrors they reflect, right, and they have solar panels on the outside, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of energy being produced. What if, right, each section, right, of the line, like a mile, right? They had exit ports so you have the solar panels, right, line, and you have the factories right outside the solar panels, to where each mile worked
That would
a
work.
certain factory.
But then they would be
to go.
expanding outside of the city.
I mean, maybe what?
Sometimes you gotta leave the
half
city.
a mile, right outside, keep it in line, and then come right back.
The thing I just thought about, how do they get people there? Because if it's 2 football fields wide, how are they going to fit an airport? So are they going to build an airport
They're
in
gonna have
the
to have
middle of
someone
the desert?
out- Outside shit.
They're probably going to build it on the very top. Well, actually, 2 football fields aren't long for an airstrip for 9 million people.
You build a building though, and then an airplane comes and lands on it. How strong is that infrastructure going to have to
Well,
be?
think about it too. Is you can only imagine how New York's airport is, right? And it's way longer than 2 football fields.
Yeah.
yeah.
you know?
So how do they handle that?
That'll
Because
probably
this
have,
population is going to be bigger.
that's the thing. They'll probably have to build. There's so many flaws in this. I mean,
There is
I
so
like
many.
the idea of the line. I think that's why I'm saying.
It's
I think
very
it's
neat looking.
I think it's a test run, right? So to see how it works, stacking people up, because that's really what it's coming to with the way that, well, population is in a decline, but the way everybody's, moving. There's so many people there. There's nothing less to explore.
Everybody wants to be in specific places.
Yeah,
So they have to
stack
start
on top,
stacking them
stack on top,
Yeah.
stack on top.
If you go to Montana, the population's really low, but then New York City houses
Yeah.
8.3 million people.
Yeah.
It's all you want to be in the place to be. Like
Mhm.
that's the generation we're growing to now.
Yeah, and I think it all changes. Just like with this, I think it's a test run. If they do build it, there's going to be a lot of. It's like when the new game comes out, right? And
Everybody
they-
wants
they-
to check it out.
Yeah, and then and then you see all these bugs, and they give updates and updates and updates. That's how it's going to be with
It's gonna
such
be a work in progress, even in
Yeah.
like 2030, 2040.
Yeah.
Well, here's another question. So, with most cities, how they do it is they'll go into multiple phases. So, like a phase 1, they're going to build this certain part of the city, and then they're going to move people in there. And then with the funding they create from the people they move in is how they provide for phase 2. So they don't physically have the funding from the start to provide for phase 2, but from the money they're going to create from phase 1 is how they keep building the city.
Yeah.
So with a line like this and with how big the budget's going to be, how many people do y'all think are going to move into a quarter of a built line? Like if it's a mile
people
long.
that are desperate or people that want to try. Because if you think about
But
it,
if it's not a fully sustainable city yet, how many people are going to commit to living
but you
there?
have to think about it. If it's 13 square kilometers wide,
It won't
right?
be that at phase 1.
I know, but think about it in the long run. So they say the average walk time they want it to be is 5 minutes, right? 5
Yeah.
minutes here, 5 minutes there. That means there has to, on every stretch, there has to be a baker, there has to be a greenhouse operator, probably won't be a farmer.
Somewhere to get your
There has to be a
produce.
butcher, there has to be a grocery store, there has to be a tailor, there has to be people that sell clothes.
Well, I don't
So-
know about the butcher just because they're not going to have fields to raise cattle
Oh,
in that city.
They'll probably import it from
Yeah,
somewhere.
so
I mean, they're gonna have
it'll
to
be a
import a lot
grocery
of things. And that's
They'll
why
have
I
a
say
light
it's
on every
So,
corner.
but they have to do that every single mile, right?
Block of the
Yeah. So
city.
So basically, what it goes back to the vetting process is they have to designate who goes where. You go here. So it's not going to be like one of these apartments where like, oh, this one's available. This one's available. I'll pick this one. No, it's going to be like you apply. You're going to be here. And that goes to show too is which end is going to be better too. Because
So
you could think about
this will be a lot of a
That's
test in how social can you make a fully self-sustaining city.
Yeah,
And like,
'cause-
okay, so you work in tech, so we're gonna have to put you in this block of the city
Yeah.
because this is where the software repair store
Mm-hmm.
is. This is where the tech, like this is where the Best Buy is to get all
Yeah.
your supplies.
Yeah.
So you have to live here, or else your day to day isn't going to be functionable.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem I see
But
is
that's a very socialized construct. It's very
I don't think it.
governed.
I don't think it'll. I don't think without their surveillance systems to say, oh, see everything, it'll work. Because humans aren't like that. I mean, you're stacked on top of each other. I mean, you can walk a football field away.
and you're
and
on the other end of the city.
You're on the other end of the city. And so I just think it'll be a whole, like you said, a whole different culture. Things will happen. There'll be cliques, right? There'll be not gangs, but a group of people that feel a certain way. And the opposite spectrum, the group of people that feel a different way. Now think about it. It's 13 kilometers. So imagine the people at the top, right?
Well, yeah,
Or
it'll
the
probably
one-
be staged in classes,
The-
and
the-
like,
yeah, the people-
on top are making.
I think that too, but I
200K
think
a
also the way, because it starts at the sea, right? Starts at the
Yeah,
Red Sea,
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
and it goes down. So the people in the middle of the desert will be more downtrodden than the people closer to the sea where trade's happening. So the flow will come from where the trade's happening mostly, and so
I see
it'll
what you're
trickle
saying.
down to not only the levels, but the way it goes down. And people will be like, you know how Chicago is. Oh, this is
Chicago's
4th Street,
population is
Four-
only 2.7 million.
yeah, but that's not the analogy I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make that, you know, people today, they're like, oh, this is 4th Street. You know, this is 2nd Street. You know, we go behind that. Now imagine if this was like, oh, this is the 1st mile line. Oh, this is 2nd mile line. This is the 3rd mile line. People will congregate to groups too, especially when the economy is like that from the sea outwards to where it starts here. So obviously all the super rich people want to be right next to the sea, right?
Yeah, they want all the fresh produce.
Exactly. They want everything, and it'll trickle down. You know,
But it's
'Cause
also
that's how humans
saying
work.
Think about
the
that.
city's goal is to get from one end, and this isn't the football field wise, but this is from mile 1 to mile 13.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it should only take a person 20 minutes to get from one end of the city to the
I just
other.
don't see how.
I could see them making like, you know, how
It'd
you
have to be some crazy fast trains.
well, the subway. I mean, like they do, I think in either Tokyo or Beijing. I'm not real sure.
Those really fast.
Yeah, put it
like
underground.
magnet
Bullet
trains
trains.
Yeah, put it underground.
going 400 miles per hour.
Yeah, do that way. Because there's no streets, whatever. I think that really, I think it's a test, but it really conflicts with human.
So, but going off of what their thing is, you could have a
Genetics.
job. You could have a job on the entire other end of the city, and leave. So, say you have to be in at 9. You could leave your house at 8:30, and you would make it to the other end of the city in time to be at your job.
Yeah, but if there's 9 million people and there's only 2 football fields, how many fucking trains can you have?
Yeah, you could only run 2 trains at a time.
Exactly. And how many stops is it going to make? Because if it takes that many fucking stops for each
They got
fucking
a lot
person,
to think about.
then
it would
it's-
have
it's
to
going
be,
to be.
so instead of stacking your trains side by side, they'll have to start stacking their trains on top of each other.
So
they'll
it'll be
have
more
to
of an
have
underground.
a basement level 2, basement
Yeah.
level 1, ground level 1,
Yeah.
like subway
They'll have
system.
to-
But
they'll
y'all
have
know the old saying though. It's just like it don't matter how good it looks on paper. Like utopia is not achievable.
Well, what I think it is, what I think this really
It-
is for Saudi Arabia, because it's all oil money, really. And really, if you look at it, they don't have no Forbes list there. They don't let them in. They're the richest people in the world. They can. That's why the founder literally said, or the founder of this, the line idea, what they call it, neoisms or
Well, it's the
neos?
region of Saudi Arabia that they're
The neos or whatever. I mean, he's
Um,
literally now he has investors, right?
Yeah.
But he said, okay, let me start this project. Why?
Because he's trying to. I feel like he's trying to make a stable point of
For their country. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes everywhere in globalization, you know? It's more,
okay. So
less you want more. Back in the old days, you didn't want nobody come to your country. You wanted to build up your country. Now with globalization, with the internet, with being able to fly here, I could go to Germany in 8 hours.
Attraction,
you know,
in a sense.
you have to have tourism. You have to have people want to come to your country. That's why America's been so strong, because people want to come here.
Yeah.
And they can use their business ideas to make better. So he's like, man, nobody really wants to go to the Middle East at this time period, right?
Visit.
Right.
Yeah, it's
A desert isn't very appetizing.
appealing,
to go visit, yeah.
but that's mostly what they have, right?
Yeah.
So might as well put a utopia in it. And
if you have a desert, you build a city that looks like a line from the sky.
Yeah.
But then inside of that line, they have greenery. Inside of
9
that
million
city,
people.
inside of that city, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And outside of it, it's 130 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, I think that's the way the future's going to work. Really, if we start if we don't blow our fucking selves up before that, I think it's going to be, it's going to have to be like that.
So, but I guess my biggest argument with what they're doing with the line is, so a lot of the main cities, like major American culturalized cities that we have, were built a very long time ago.
Yeah.
In our perspective, a very long time ago. And so they're not very modern. Like we've kind of built and adapted them to become that. But with the modern technology we have, we can kind of emphasize on what nature is. We don't have to combat it. We don't have to create ecosystems that can kind of block it out. So why are they making this line?
What about when a sandstorm hits? You know?
I mean, that's a fair enough argument. The line will block that from happening.
But not over top.
But-
I mean,
Well, I don't know if it'll push down into it. And if the line goes higher than the top of the sandstorm would be, then the sand won't hit.
well, it depends on
But-
how high. I mean,
With how good our technology is today, should we be literally cutting a line through nature and just saying, okay, we're going to regulate everything inside of here?
I think as far as what it works with the ecosystem is it's better for it. Because if we lay it out, if you lay 9 billion people out in grids,
But if we
you're
create a
taking
civilization
more of the nature than you are
Yeah.
just a straight line
If
stacked
we
on top
took-
of people.
If we made a civilization that emphasized on what nature had,
Mm-hmm.
so say you built a city on, in, and around a mountain, you're not affecting that mountain because you're using its structures to create that. You're not cutting a big slab out of it to make it flat. You're not, I don't know. I feel like they're taking the technology they have,
Well, what nature's out there in the desert?
they're just making it harder in a sense. I feel like with
But I mean, it works that way because they want to say they want to be renewable with their energy, and what better place to do that than a desert? And that's most of their region.
When you're using solar
most of the
energy.
region is
Yeah.
desert. They do have the finances to provide for it, but if one end of it has the sea, like the Red Sea, think about how much of nature relies on being able to get to that sea.
Yeah.
And if you take something that's 13 miles long, and I don't even know how tall it is,
Well, they can
and
always
you
come
cut
straight.
you cut a border through it,
well,
everything on one side of it isn't going to be able to get to the sea anymore.
I mean, it's not circling the Red Sea. It's a straight line. So
But if it's shaped like this and
all
it
you-
cuts through,
I know.
like
So
the
you're only
sea's
taking
here.
2 football fields away. So even if they're at the very top of it, they were going to have to come down that far anyways to get to the Red Sea. It's only 2 football fields you're taking away from a mile stretch, right? So all they had to, they were going to have to travel that way
It's 2
anyway.
football fields wide, but it's 13 miles long.
Yeah, but it's 13 miles to the desert. So say like, look, so you have animals right here and right here.
They'll
This
have
is
to go
it.
13 miles to get around
Say
it.
if they were right here, they had to come this way anyways. You know, now if it was stretched this far to where they had to come this far instead of right here, that'd be a problem. But they still have to come straight right here.
So let us come this way.
Yeah, they're still having to take that path. I think it's more economically safe than or ecosystem or however you want to fucking pronounce it, friendly than making
Eco-friendly.
it, yeah, wide across the sea. Because I mean that would
Yeah, they're
be,
not completely shielding it off. This
It's just
way.
2 football fields this way. So they were going. If animals were right here and right here, they'd still have to travel the same distance. They just couldn't cut through and then go down. They still have to go down. So it's actually
I'll have to see if I can find a map of it, I guess. But the stuff I was researching, it looked like it was cutting off the access to the Red Sea from one end of the city.
well, it's probably I'm not sure, but it's probably you know how a lot of the right when it goes to some land, it goes like a big cliff, and then it goes to the sea.
Yeah,
They probably took one of the flattest parts.
Just started it there.
Yeah, that might be one of the biggest problems.
Yeah.
It's
For
crazy.
the
We went from
ecosystem.
like, think about like the Titanic or some shit like that. People are like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And now
A
we're
big
like, let's
boat.
build a giant
We're
city
literally
that's a
living
line.
in the Jetsons. Well, it's even better. I mean, when you were in the 50s, they always made these Back to the Future, not 50s, but that time
70s,
period.
80s.
We're in the
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Because they were in a boom. There was a lot of technology growing fast.
And then I think it kind of stagnated around the 80s, 90s, and it kind of picked up
sure.
in the 2000s. And we're getting, Teslas drive their fucking selves now.
That's
We have
crazy.
cars that drive their fucking selves. And now we're coming out with a whole, it could be a country in Saudi Arabia, a whole line. Just
like
people
nothing
stacked
is
on
ever
top of each other.
enough.
And architecturally, like speaking, if you look at cities that were being built 1,000 years ago, so the main thesis to building that city is, can you defend it?
Yeah.
We're building a line now, so they're not worried about defending against
Yeah.
anything.
Well, plus,
how would you defend?
And plus is why would you? Wars don't happen
Yeah.
the way they happen.
Yeah,
back
so we're not
then.
worried about that kind of stuff anymore. So
Yeah.
we're building cities off of different questions. It's not how would you defend it.
Uh-huh.
It's how would you provide for the civilization.
And
It's
plus,
how would
too-
your economy grow.
Yeah, and plus too, I think back in the ancient medieval, whatever you want to say, times, it was more of a grid platform. So it was like square, 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 square,
Yeah.
square. Here now, in modern ages, we're stacking people on top.
Yeah, even with like
It's
skyscrapers, they were like, hey, let's
Save
build
space.
up instead
Yeah.
of across.
Yeah.
Like,
Save
and
space.
It's so smart, but it's like,
Put
it's
30
so
floors
crazy
of
to think about.
offices instead
Yeah.
of...
Like, I've never been to New York, but imagine going to like a big city, like, oh, there's a building that is like 35, 40 feet.
Oh, it's going to
or
be more.
stories
Like
high.
200,
Not feet.
200, 220 stories.
See, that's
Yeah.
crazy to me. 220 stories.
Think about the men that built that, though.
Like, we're in a 4-story apartment.
All right, Jordan
right now.
Peterson, calm down. I know where you're
Hey,
getting. I know where you're
think
getting.
about that.
No,
Think
that's
about
a, that's
that.
a hell of a man.
Bring it
Hey,
back.
hey.
To go up that high?
Yeah.
To do this
Well,
shit?
they're just thinking about the paycheck.
Are
Yeah.
they? Or are they thinking about not fucking falling?
Like, that's crazy.
Okay, but to get me through the situation, what I would
Yeah.
be telling
I mean,
myself
you're
is
there
like,
for
oh,
the
I'm making
paycheck.
bank. I'm making bank.
Thank God for men.
But God almighty, you're up 230 stories
he said
high.
it. He said it.
Could you do it?
Depends.
Well, he's scared of heights, but I could do it for sure.
No, I'm.
I would be
I'm-
excited to go
I'm,
do it.
I'm scared of heights that I won't die from. Right. So like,
Huh?
it sounds crazy. I know. I thought about it too.
You're
I'm
gonna
like,
be
what the-
paralyzed type shit.
like,
So
I-
you're scared of 10 feet more than you are 100 feet?
yeah, because I'm like, because if I'm up 100 feet, I'm like, if I fall, if I go up that high, I've already accepted. If I fall, I die.
You've already swallowed the pill.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm life or death. Who gives a fuck, right? I've already.
It is what it is.
All right.
I talked to my Lord and Savior. We're good, but 20 feet, I'm like, damn, this is gonna hurt.
Farther down the road, if we get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to force Hunter to go skydiving with
You
me.
ain't gonna have to force me. I'm gonna love it.
Oh, and we'll
He's
record the whole
accepted
thing.
it.
We'll
He
take him
accepted it.
skydiving.
Yeah.
This guy terrified of 10 feet in the air.
Yeah, another
We're
dude's
shove
gonna be
him
on
out
my
of a plane.
back, pushing me out.
Oh yeah. We hit
Oh.
5. If you guys get us there, you'll see this guy plummet.
We should
to
do a tandem
maybe
jump
his
where
death.
all hold. I want to do it. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, can we hold on to the side of it and hang down for a little
That'd be
bit?
so like
You
that.
should
They
just
just-
punch the whole line.
I'm excited. Let go.
I'm
So
just
lit.
hanging
Yeah.
from like a mile
I
up
think
in the
that
air.
would. I think that would give me more adrenaline than fall. I mean, falling, you're like, okay, I'm falling.
Or if
but
you
just
like,
hanging on the side.
1, 2, 3, jump.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the excitement of jumping would probably be more for me personally than okay. Let me grab onto the railing. Let me hang from it.
I think
and then
either
I'll let
way,
go.
I
you're
think
probably
hanging
like,
from it,
holy
you're like,
shit.
whoa, I'm
Like,
up
I'm about to
this
jump out of
high.
the
But the
helicopter.
statement you're making, and I'm just literally jumping out of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just free balling.
Well, see,
it.
the thing is, I think too is when you jump out, it's a split decision, right? But when
Yeah.
you're hanging from it, you have a minute to say, okay.
I mean,
oh,
but if you're already
shit.
hanging there, who's gonna pull themselves up, climb back into it, say like, "Oh, I couldn't do it."
I mean, we'll
We'll
probably
find
be
out.
strapped to somebody anyways.
Oh yeah, we'll
We'll
have
be
to
like,
be.
yeah, hang on to that for
So
a minute.
if
Yeah,
you're strapped
yeah.
onto somebody, they're not gonna let you hang because 2 people aren't gonna be holding.
Well, yeah, I
Over
know.
each other.
But if we do enough classes, we can do it by our fucking selves. And
Alright,
when we
you
buy
guys want to
the-
get certified?
First
and then-
time I'm trying
and
to
then-
just jump out with somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like let them have all the
Well, yeah,
work.
you gotta crawl before you can run and
yeah.
I
walk.
think you have to have so
Once
many
we- once we-
skydives under your belt before
Yeah, and
you
once
can take your
once we buy
license.
the TMT helicopter coming soon,
Coming soon, guys.
skydiving.
It's in the works.
we'll be able to
It's in
do
the
it by
works.
ourselves, right?
We'll be in the sky, fully orange with some like teal lettering on it saying TMT.
We gotta get better color schemes.
What I like, I like the,
I like
the
that.
teal
I
and
like
the
orange.
contrast.
Yeah, it makes us seem happy.
Not many things go for
Very
that.
happy
I mean,
go
maybe
lucky guy.
Yeah.
like the Miami Dolphins have the same colors, except
true.
for they emphasize on the green more than the orange, and we're doing the opposite.
You mean the baby blue?
I mean, I think that's more. of a
Well, it's like a teal. Miami has a
teal?
teal,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
but they flipped it.
My color palettes are fucked.
yeah.
Oh no.
You can get that extra special pack of Crayolas.
All right, but getting back onto the subject though.
Fuck the subject.
The
We're
line?
talking about
That's over.
colors. No, I was
yeah.
messing with you.
Yeah, the color rainbow.
I'll put a stamp of approval on it.
You approve of it?
Dumb.
Oh, dumb.
Nah,
I think they got a lot of work, but I think it could
I
be
think
a
it's
dope
a,
idea.
a step in modernization. But it's
We'll
a
learn a
test.
lot from
it's
it.
a test, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest benefit of us doing it as
Yeah.
a human race, not even as a country, is all the scientists and all the architects will learn a lot.
How tall is it? I think
I'll try
I've
to
seen
figure
it
it
was
out.
it was taller than the Eiffel Tower, right?
There's no chance.
That's what it said. Well, the video I watched, I think it was a little bit taller than the Eiffel Tower.
500 meters, so
About 1,000.
About 3 foot in a meter.
1,600 feet tall.
Yeah.
So what's 1,600 feet tall? Yeah, so to give a reference of how tall 1,600 feet would be, so this thing is going to be 13 miles long,
Yeah.
but then each side of it, the mirror-wise, is going to be 1,600 feet tall. So
Yeah.
to give a reference,
That's
like
a lot of mirrors.
that's a lot of mirrors.
a lot of feet.
To give an American reference, the Empire State Building is only 1,200 feet tall.
So it's about 300 feet taller.
So yeah, it's about 300 feet
Wow.
taller. The Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building
That's
like
in-
in the world.
Where's
that's-
that at?
That's
Where
in
is
Dubai.
that?
So the tallest building in the world is in Dubai, and it is 2,700 feet tall,
So
which
really-
is about a half a mile.
The Middle East has the
Architects.
architectural.
No, they have the
Shit going
they have
on.
the very top 1%. If you look at the Empire State Building,
Financially, I think they probably have it.
yeah, yeah. If you look at the, well, it's probably in their countries 0.0000001%. I mean, if you look at it,
I mean, I can research.
the Empire State Building, it was built by the government. It wasn't built by one person.
Well, I think
this-
this is the Saudi government trying to
But who runs the Saudi government?
the royal family of the Saudis,
Oh
right?
yeah, they have all the oil.
Hey, but they got the money, man.
Yeah, they got that oil.
They got the money.
That oil money.
Whoever got the money makes the shit happen,
All
bro.
right, but sometimes
okay.
when you have so much money, you
I need
can.
to go. I need to go over there and dig a fucking hole.
I'm rich. I found it.
What is this? The Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
But if
I got
these
more
guys-
class than that.
If these guys have so much funds that they can just pump into something, I'm a little worried in how methodical they're going to be and how
Exactly.
self-sustaining it's
Oh
going to be.
yeah, no, it's a test run. How they control, but it's,
I mean, like, is it
it's-
going to be the WNBA where you're just pumping funds into it to keep it up? You know,
It's more of a look than it is
I think-
actual
yeah.
business plan.
I think even if you built
It's like
it and
a
it
status.
failed.
it's like a PR thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you actually live in the line, dude.
Oh,
You've
but
made it.
Even,
Wow.
even beyond that, you build it and
Wow.
it fails. How many people are going to travel
Yeah.
to see
See it.
this
If it
line?
fails,
And
It's all
Saudi
mirror
Saudi Arabia is
Oh
put on
my-
the map. You know,
that would be
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest
for other
fail.
than the oil.
It might
industry.
be, but they might turn it around to be a big tourist attraction of, oh, people want to come here and stay for a night or two. It's
Are you
not
going to make $1
sustainable.
trillion off of the tourism though? Are you going to dig yourself
Hey.
out of that?
But if they're willing to make that leap, that means
If it didn't hurt at first, then it's a profit in the end.
It's because they have Dubai. Their heads are inflated right now because Dubai is like this really cool, hot place to be. So a lot of money's being made there.
I heard the Dubai's in decline.
It might, but in the past few years, dude, that place was the place to be.
Everybody has money there. Like on the interstate, you don't see a Camry.
Oh, dude,
you see Ferraris.
You know they got on Dubai. It's a 5-lane intersection. They never fill it.
Everybody there has a supercar.
But the thing is, they never fill it the fuck up, right? So it's just lanes for them to fucking drive as fast as they want to.
And see, that's the kind of culture it built there. So they're building an entire city without cars, though. So what kind of things are people going to use to display their status? I guess
Exactly. Is it, if you can't travel freely,
are you going to live on the top floor? Is that going to be your flex move?
The thing is, when you guys were all young once, you know,
Never.
when you got when you got a car, you felt free, right?
Yeah.
With them, they're not going to feel necessarily, I'd say, free, because everything they do, if they travel to the 3rd mile district, if they travel to the 10th mile district, they're going to be seen. And so what I think that's going to create groups of people like, oh, this is the first mile, this is the second mile, this is the 3rd mile. And it's kind of going to be like, you at the
you claim second mile?
I got to go to mile 9 to go pick up my weed.
Yeah,
because that's the drug mile.
Or, you on 1st mile, you little preppy ass bitch. What do you think about this fucking...
It'll build social classes.
Yeah, brass knuckles to your mouth.
There's social classes are always going to be around.
Yeah.
That's why I say there is no utopia.
But so much can be learned from them because... we have societies already built and structured, and we already have scientists in place. So if we put this place in, and then we drop all new people in, from start to finish, we can watch how they migrate into a new culture, a new societal bracket.
It's a test run.
And we'll be watching. People outside be watching like, oh, how's the line doing? They ought to start a show of like, live streaming in life inside the line.
TLC.
Yeah.
Life in the line.
It's like keeping up with the Kardashians, except they're keeping up with the line. I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'd see how fucking big of a failure it is.
Shit reminds me of like, oh, you're in basically a city confined between 2 walls. It reminds me of the Lorax, man.
I've never seen it. What do you...
Wait, you've never seen the Lorax?
No.
Dude, that's a great movie.
How does it work?
It's a Dr. Seuss movie. Essentially, there's a boy born into a city confined by 2 walls.
And they have plastic trees.
Everything's fake, but everything's perfect.
Is that the last book you read?
Yeah.
Nah, I just like...
How'd you know? Anyways, but...
I've seen it.
Okay.
No, I haven't watched the movie, but I know what you're talking about.
It's basically that. It's basically, their utopia. He kind of tries to try the boundaries, and you find out, oh, it's not a utopia. You can only do what they want you to do. And then he does something different, like it causes huge uproar, and that's really how this would be. I feel like there's really that one guy who's like, you know what? No. Which, right or wrong?
I say let it grow.
Exactly. Let it grow, man. Like,
but they're in a desert, so what's going to grow?
They have in there? Let it grow.
At the end, it's like, let it grow, let it grow.
That sounds like some Taliban shit.
The bad
guy, bro. He's like, let it die, let it die.
Dude, that was the best villain. But I think you should watch the Lorax. It's got some really great quotes.
It's a great Dr. Seuss movie.
I pulled up some quotes if you want to hear them.
Yeah, let me hear it. What's that little furry fucking animal?
The guy with the mustache? The orange guy?
That's the Lorax.
That's the Lorax.
That's the Lorax? What does he do?
For the
basically
trees.
The spirit of the trees.
Is he
he
on the
speaks for the
spectrum?
trees.
Or is he...
He's a god.
Oh, really?
He's a god.
Yeah, he shows up once someone's like defiling nature. But
the way you worded that.
Well, that's exactly
What's their fucking a
the
tree?
main
Exactly. Who's fucking a log?
the Onceler, the main bad guy, but also at the end of the story, I guess he kind of becomes the wise like elder.
Yeah.
But when he shows up, he wants to be a billionaire. Like that's his goal. And so he shows up and he starts deforestation like completely. Like he just destroys nature.
Okay.
And builds these really cool scarves and stuff out of the trees.
How the fuck does that work?
Well, it's a Dr. Seuss.
That's the craziest. Think about
control
Dr.
the
Seuss.
narrative.
Dr. Seuss is writing like real shit today.
Can we
into children's stories fucking like 70 years ago.
Dude, I'm a great writer.
Like,
Yeah.
no, okay, fuck you. Dr. Seuss is a great fucking
Hey, he
poet.
got excited.
Like,
He's
really.
a poet and he didn't goddamn know it.
Think about
He
it,
says
though.
his words: "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better." It's not.
This is a kid's
That's
book.
from the Lorax. Dude. That's some deep stuff.
Bro, you telling me Dr. Seuss was on a different level?
I heard Dr. Seuss was tripping acid and touching kids.
I heard that too.
I haven't heard any of that.
I
so
did
I
hear
don't want
that.
to. I don't want to.
Look on every children's book.
It'll ruin your life.
Think
bro.
about it.
How
Think
many
ab-
of our heroes
think-
do we have to tear down before
Hey.
we just lose
Before you just
humanity?
Dr. Seuss is one of your fucking heroes?
He is.
Absolutely.
He is.
How the fuck?
Dude, go to watch the live action Cat in the Hat movie.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
I'll
That-
agree with that. I'll
that
agree with
has
that.
constructed who
That-
I
that
am
was-
as a person. Screw
that
your
was
mic,
great.
Dawson.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
knock it over.
I don't need that. Don't worry.
We
Yeah.
don't need to hear you.
I agree with
I
that.
see what you're saying. So they're trying to.
Think about a grown man, right?
Yeah, I wasn't saying
A
anything.
very smart grown man, right? Smart grown man. Intelligent.
Book.
He goes, "Let me take this acid and see everything. Let me put kids in it."
It's like he kitty
I'm done with this conversation.
real problems. That's what's crazy to me.
Don't tear down my heroes.
Jeffrey Dahmer, Dr. Seuss.
Jeffrey Dahmer was never my hero.
He was mine.
Yeah,
God
that's what
dang
I say. For Dawson. All right, what were you saying?
I don't remember. Where were we at?
I don't fucking
I
know.
lost track.
Great.
I think we're
Way to go.
I think this is a epitome of fucking too much thought.
TMT.
Too much.
TM fucking T.
All right, we've said it so many times. But yeah, so I guess this was our episode where we talked about future endeavors that Saudi Arabia was going into.
And
We're
how
poking
Dr.
plot holes
Seuss
into
is a
it.
pedophile.
We're up to their
Because, I mean,
shit.
as
Yeah.
three uncollege educated individuals,
Hey, I went
obviously,
to college twice.
obviously we're smarter
I
than the
was
architects.
But the thing is, I went to college twice. I was smarter than everybody else.
Show me the paper.
So I just dropped. I can show you the student loans.
Well, I can show you mine too.
Hey, if you
buddy.
want, if you want,
I went to college on YouTube, bitch.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah. I dropped out twice. Smarter than the professors. I was
Yeah.
like, you know,
Are you
this is
smarter than a
fucked.
dropout? Let's find
Yeah.
out.
So what Saudi Arabia should do is they need to watch.
Hey, next episode, are you smarter than dropout? We'll get one of these college educated kids from these private schools that are $50,000 a year.
Oh, they're more in debt than that. But
Yeah.
what
Oh,
Saudi
yeah.
Arabia should do is
That's if they dropped out in the first year.
watch this episode, see all the plot holes that we're poking into
And then
their
talk to us.
We're up to you, Saudi.
their $1 trillion
what you're doing.
blueprint of a city. And we're bringing up the thoughts that they've not even thought of because we're just so smart. So you're welcome, Saudi Arabia, because now you're going to be able to start figuring out how to fix the
Yeah.
environment
Problem
that you're
And
building.
my name's Hunter Pease. You'll got my information. Reach
Check
out.
them out on Instagram.
Yeah, I could use a good
I-
job.
yeah.
I'm tired of this bullshit.
You guys might see him outside of the local gas station panhandling.
Hey, if y'all see me with a sign that says "Fuck Saudi Arabia," and it's got a line going across of it, just know I'm protesting.
I actually support y'all.
Okay.
All right.
All right, well,
Yeah.
this has been the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I really don't give a fuck if y'all did or not. We did.
we
we
enjoyed
did-
it.
we
That's
enjoyed
what
it.
that
Love
is.
you guys.
We had
I
fun.
Love all you guys.
See you again next week.
All right.
Take it
Deuces.
easy.
See you guys.